City, Tennessee. I came from out of state to make this dream a reality. Good evening, good afternoon, my fellow Liberians. I am privileged to make a very serious political announcement to you from the Alatua African Market in Johnson City, Tennessee. I came from out of state to make this dream a reality. And today I can tell you, from all accounts, that we've gone through a lot in our nation's history, a brutal civil war. And as a result of that, many of us have become delusional. Some of us, to the core of our own value, have left a lot behind. We lost a lot during the Civil War. Make no mistake. We're ready to heal and we're ready to move ahead. Oftentimes, I've been the one coming before you to announce to you that I am an independent Liberian politician. Today, I come before you to make a political announcement that I know will shock you. But I have no regrets because my vision is clear and I know where I'm heading. But at the end of the day, I know where we should be as a nation and as a country. So today, I come before you, I, Eugene L. Fangon, to make a stunning political announcement that now is the time. Therefore, without much ado, I want you all to understand where I come from. Being an independent is being an independent, meaning I do things from a thoughtful process. And I take my decision based on the fact that I'm a neutral person. And every decision I make is for my country. So today I come before you to announce to you that I will support the ALP come 2016, 2017, and going forward. I will not support an individual, but I will support a political party and work with a political party, which means that whatever comes out of it, I will be one of those that will be a contributing factor to that. I will support the nominee, and I want people to contest the nomination of the ALP. But make no mistake, I will support Benny Ayuri for the nomination of the ALP, and I will work to make this happen. My dream is to make sure that we do not have a government come 2017 of corruption, nepotism, cronyism, favoritism, you name the rest. We will make sure that we put an end to ritualistic killings. We will make sure that we stop the rape of our women, of our children, most especially our girls. The sodomization of our boys will come to a halt. Let me tell you a few things going forward. But before I do that, in subsequent videos, I wanted to show you that going forward, we will ensure that we do a lot of things to bring peace, progress, and development to the country. But just to highlight a little bit of what drew me to this conclusion. I have in my hand a bag of peanuts. Look at the size of this bag of peanuts. The price on it says $5.99. This is something we produce in the Republic of Liberia. We eat at the Hatay shop when we drink Hatay. As little as it is in the United States, it's $5.99. We have girls. Everyone cannot work in government. Therefore, the ALP will work to empower people through agriculture. And I can assure you that if people in Liberia understand that this bag of peanut is $5.99, they wouldn't be chasing government jobs. And so at the end of the day, I'm committed to that. Let me take you on a little tour of what I mean when I say we are about to do something great in Liberia through the ALP. And by this, I'm coming to tell you a lot of different things. These were things that were scraped from on a bamboo tree and thrown away. In Ghana, it is very popular, and that's what they use for watching. It's $4.99. In Liberia, this is trash. We throw it away. Let me move forward with you. We have something that we normally use for our GB. The people of Nima are very good at using wallow for GB. The white people cook wallow. But look at the price. For this tiny little bag is $2.50. If people knew that in America this tiny little bag of wallow will cost $2.50 and they can produce thousands that will earn them the money, they wouldn't be chasing government jobs. It's time to empower our people. Let's make progress. As we go forward, let me bring you to this end, right over here. If you will bring the camera, let me show my people as I make this political announcement. Over here in Liberia, we eat pumpkin. And once we're done eating the pumpkin, we dry the seeds, and sometimes we use it, sometimes we throw it away. This tiny little bag is $4.50 in the U.S. If people knew that they could grow pumpkin and use the seed that will cost so much in America and be able to export it, we can make progress. I am for the ALP, and the ALP is the only way. The ALP remains the only viable alternative for our country. Let us make progress. Again, let me be specific here. This is a tiny bag of gari. I recall when I was in school, we ate gari with milk, sugar, and we put a little bit of peanut in it. Okay? Once we put a peanut in our gari, we were good to go. Look at this bag of gari. It's $8.99. This tiny little bag of gari. Liberians, were we sleeping? Were we asleep? Did we not know that this day would come? There's only one government that can do it. And I am about to bring that government to you. Let's make progress again. This time I want us to go on the other side. In Liberia, one of my favorite dishes is what we call dipper. I love eating dipper. And the cassava that wasn't good, our people dried it. They pounded it. It turned to dust. And guess what happened? We use it and we cook dipper and grampy soup or dipper and pan butter. This tiny little bag of dipper is $7.99. But it's not from Liberia just like all the other products. It's from other countries. And we have had a wealth of good ties with the United States. Here we are today. We can't even produce this. This tiny little bag of dipper is almost $10. Do you think if people knew that they could have all these things that I'm showing you today and that they could export it to America and make that money, do you think they would care about government? No, they won't. But which government will empower them to make sure that they can do these things and have it ready for the market? The ALP remains the only viable alternative. Subsequent videos will produce that. Let's make progress. That was just a dipper. Let's look at fufu from Ghana. We eat fufu in Liberia. They've made it into dust. And guess what? This tiny little packet of fufu that, two persons can eat. It's $3.75. Can you imagine that? If people knew that they could fix their fufu and put it in box and export it to the United States, and that they can have at least 500 of these boxes, do you think they would be worried about government jobs? Not so. We from the ALP will empower the Liberian people. They will take the economy and they will take their own economy into their own hands and they will run from there. Let's make progress. I want to come over here, all right? We grow cassava, we grow edo, we grow yams. The plantain and the edos are over there. I just want to show you yam. This yam right here is $9 in the store. The owner of the store wished that it was from Liberia, but he has no choice. He is a Liberian. He feels passionate about it. It's $9. Can our people grow this? Certainly. If they can have 500 yam, 500 at a rate of 10, you do the math. Do you think they will depend on government? No, not at all. In Liberia, one of the best we can handle is what we call mwen. We say mwen is good with dry rice. And so at the end of the day, right here, this small little packet of mwen is $5.99. There it is, $5 US. $5.99 is $6. $6 for this tiny little stuff. Do you think if our people could fix that moment and have it exported to Liberia, to America, we would be suffering? The ALP is the only way, and I am part of that process. Body. We have a saying in our country that Fanti people cannot say that body is rotting. We have body fluctuating all around the place. In America, this tiny little packet of body, if you must eat it, it's $7.50. Do you think, and it's not even the big kind of body that we usually see. It's the tiny, tiny ones. Do you think if people knew that they could have these packets shipped to America and make $7.99 from one of these little bags? You do the math and tell me what $7.99 is in Liberian dollar, and I will tell you what I have to tell you later. Kettle. If you eat fufu, you want kettle in it. If you eat dry rice, you want kettle in it. We mass produce this thing in Liberia. We do. But we've never found the courage. Look at the name on it. Cooked frozen small garden. Not from Liberia. What are we doing? We've had the greatest opportunity and the greatest relation with the United States. We're all over this country. But guess what? This tiny little bag is about $6. Just this tiny little bag. Where did we go wrong? What happened to past government? Why were our people not in power? Why did they not know that a tiny little cassava leaf like this would cost them $5 to $7.50? How did they not know? How did they not know that bigger balls boiled and put into a plastic would cost them almost $8? How did they not know? So today, I come before you to make a serious political announcement that after stirring the water and talking to all the political parties and actually enhancing what my dream was and analyzing and coming and putting the pieces together, I found out that some political parties were collaborators in a scheme to rob the Liberian people. They were part and parcels of the problem. So I invite you today to join me as we join the ALP to move the country forward. The ALP is more of a movement than a political party. The ALP brings smart minds together, very smart people. And that's why to make this announcement today, I found my way to Tennessee at the Alatua African Market, met with the owner and asked him that I be able to make my announcement from his store. He was gracious enough to grant me the space. And today I have the opportunity, without fear or favor, to announce that I will be supporting the ALP and that I will be working to make Benny Ayure the nominee of our party. And if need be, if he ever refuses to run for the position of nominee, I will run for president on the ALP ticket. But the ALP is not just a political party, it is a movement. So I invite people from the CDC, from the UP, from the Liberty Party, from the ALCOR, from whatever political domain you find yourself from, come over to the new movement. Let's move our country forward. It's all about equity. It's all about discipline. It's all about patriotism. But most importantly, it is about new innovation, new thinking, and new possibilities. And we will hold our leaders accountable. So in subsequent video, I will come up with the plan going forward for the ALP. I thank you ever so much, and I look forward to working with other people from other political institutions, such as the CDC, the Liberty Party, maybe it can be individuals. Whatever the case be, I'm open. But I will support the ALP, and I am going to work for the ALP, and I'm going to work hard to make sure that Benny Ayure becomes the president of the Republic of Liberia come 2017. If he does not win our party nomination, I guarantee you I will support whoever the nominee is. But the ALP is a political institution and a movement that I, UGL Fangong, will support. Follow me and follow me every day on my blog, every day on my Facebook page. We are together. We must move our country forward. Never again should we know that yam will be $9 and not be able to produce it. Never again should we know that oil, such in this little bottle, is $15 and not be able to send it over here. Not again should we know that butter is $7.50 and we're still looking for government job. 2 pieces of money is about $5.99, which is 6. I am done. I am tired. Now is the time. We're not waiting for tomorrow. It's now. It's now. It's now.
To live your life. How many people in Liberia in their 40s, in their 30s are able to say, you know what, I'm going to take my child out on a Saturday to get an ice cream. I'm going to take my child to a private school and see my child go through that private school fence. Not many people doing that, my brother. Not many people doing that. And then to see Mr. Bronsky, who live in our country, which I don't live now, and see how our people are being strangulated and he continue to suffocate our people. Why? Why? For the sake of power? That's why we should go through this thing. Mr. Bronsky is wrong. He must be able to backtrack. He must relinquish himself from what he pursuing and let the peace process go ahead. If he have an agenda to pursue, let him align himself with Mr. Barker, take his supporters to support Mr. Barker when they get into the election. If his candidate in his dream wins, then he can bring the idea. But guess what? If Mr. Barker and Mr. Uri and ANC and Mr. Bronsky want their real vision to come to reality, if Ambassador Weah wins and they bring those things before him. And Ambassador Weah says, no, trust me, I will be back here supporting all of them. Because you know what? What benefit one Liberian benefit all Liberians? Our people have suffered for a very long time. Can you imagine you see people in the country begging? In your own country, you begging? God have mercy on us, Tunis. Sorry for interrupting your question.
What do you think that people are complaining so much about in Liberia right now? Like, for instance, probably it could be rural condition, hunger, or currency devaluating. In the first 100 years, 100 days of George Weah presidency, what do you think he's going to tackle first?
Well, as a political analyst, as a policy and regulatory analyst, I firstly would like to see Ambassador Weah carrying on a full-blown audit of every ministry to determine the deficit we have. If we identify the deficit, to have the transparent leadership from the executive mansion. I would like to see Ambassador Weah having a weekly press conference to start. And as long as they get into that rhythm, the next thing now is to make sure that they continue to inform the people. Our people need to be very, very abreast to how he's going to run his government. If Eddie Johnson said he is leaving maybe $2.2 billion or millions of dollars in debt, he needs to declare that. The next thing he needs to do is to reconcile the country. I feel so bad when I see some of my brothers and sisters aligning themselves with politicians. I don't like them. I don't appreciate them. Liberia is all we have. Some people live 30 years old. They don't even have what we have, Tunis, in our country. I could have been one of them. I could have been in our country today, hustling, which is why I'm on the side advocating for them. I have seen these politicians have done nothing for our country. So let us get Ambassador Weah the opportunity. If he screw up, we all can come here and put him on the grill and grill him good.
No stone unturned in making sure that President George Weah does not win a re-election. And while the opposition parties are plotting his ouster, President Weah is not resting on his oars as he makes efforts to retain power for another 6-year term. Joining us now to speak on his strategy to win the #1 seat in Liberia is one of the frontline candidates from the Alternative National Congress, ANC, Alexander Cummings. Good afternoon, and great to have you here on this day.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right, so we're here to...
I grew up on the farm. I did not go to school early because I had to drive the bird, me and my brother. Okay? So when I went to Guinea and things became tough, all I had when I heard that they slaughtered my father and my 3 siblings in our village, as a young boy,
As Liberia braces up for its 2023 presidential elections, candidates are leaving no stone unturned in making sure that President George Weah does not win a re-election. And while the opposition parties are plotting his ouster, President Weah is not resting on his oars as he makes efforts to retain power for another 6-year term. Joining us now to speak on his strategy to win the #1 seat in Liberia is one of the frontline candidates from the Alternative National Congress, ANC, Alexander Cummings. Good afternoon, and great to have you here on this day.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right, so we're...
anguish I went through. The only way I could deal with it was through 2 things, football and farm. I played football very well until they called me Opon over there. And then in the morning, I would go and do the farm. I went to the chief, like we were own man in Guinea, and I tell you, even though I'm a Mandingo, they didn't treat us like Mandingos over there. Okay? They didn't give us anything for free. We had to work for it. People will tell you that, you know how they refer to us, our own Mandingos brothers in Guinea, Bonya Daya. And so, Bonya Daya, how they call us. So I want people to know that those of us who went to Guinea did not have it easy. So I want you to know who I am. What did I do? I went to the town chief, I begged him for land. He gave me a land. I went and tilted the land. I learned how to take the land using the 2 cows. You get a 2 cows, then you put the plow between them, you talk to them, and then they can go and do that by holding them. I did that. acquired the land in Musadu. I grew beans on them because I knew the gestation period, meaning the time it takes the beans to go in the ground and then come out and then begin to make its own seed is about 3 months. It's not long. So I didn't have to do rice, which takes about 6 months. All right, so I did beans and I planted some corn in between it. God helped me. It just blossomed. All right, and when I harvested, for the first time, I earned my own money as a man, as a young man, through my hard work. I did not lavish it. I did not say, let me go buy sneakers or shirt and this and that like others were doing. I took it, I went back to the chief. I said, please give me this unfinished building in the village. I want to start a school. I was only a high school graduate then. Not even quite, because at the time we stopped school here in Monrovia in June 1990 when the rebels were approaching us from Kakata. I want you to know who I am. I didn't come here to talk to you about public policy like they suggested. If you have questions you ask me, I will answer you. Because I can tell you, like the alphabet, the governance architecture of Liberia, the fiscal management regime of the government. But I want people to know who I am because I didn't do that due to my busy schedule. So, I did the farm, I got almost close to $1,000 in Guinea money. I asked for this unfinished building because Liberian children were languishing out there, not doing anything. I'm talking about kids from kindergarten to 6th grade. Their whole life was destroyed. They didn't even know their national anthem. Okay, they started to forget which country was their birth country. Most of them started to speak French because they thought Guinea was their own country. I started the school with my money from the farm I made. And I tell you what, that school became #1 in Guinea. The UN came there. No, I'm telling you, the UN came there one Sunday. We were boiling black tea. We were like, oh, Hatai, not funny. Black tea. So the 2 land cruisers stopped. UNHCR. The driver walked to us under the cotton tree. See, you get refugee school here? We said yes. Say, who is the principal? Everybody pointed to this skinny kid. I was supposed to be very dry, They said he's the principal. So they said we would like to see the school. 2 white women from California are in the car. We went to the building on Sunday. On Friday, after the lessons, we raised the bowl. Everything was there. That was the first effect of our work on these white people from California. Yes, that's how I'm telling you now how my love opened, guys. Be honest to yourself, work hard, then leave the rest for God. They saw the blackboard, then they asked me, said, do you have attendance record? And let me tell you, our culture of work is terrible. But in Guinea, at that young age, I recruited some of the best to come and help me with this school because I was not a teacher. I was just a social entrepreneur, if you look at it that way. I was not an expert in teaching. I never taught before. But what I knew was that my teachers at MC actually allowed me to grade my fellow students' grade because I was a good student at MC. I did not become student council president at MC through election because by then President Doe had banned student politics. I became student council president at Monrovia College and Industrial Training School by vote of the faculty because I had the highest grade point average. I was saying, I want you to know who I am. I want you to know how I got here. I didn't get here by mistake. Nobody held my hand to say, oh, come here, this and that. Somebody got some, this and that. No. No. Up to today's day, I'm not a member of the political party. I'm an independent-minded person. That is why when I came here to work, I stood in the middle. I help seditious, I work with UPS, I work with Liberty Party people. I was here at night making deals to keep this country safe when most of you and them were sleeping. Okay? My book is coming out. I don't see people. Building from scratch, using income from Vanguard. Vanguard had a partnership program. I count myself as one of the good Liberians. All the way to project manager. So when I came here, IT technician, this and that, they didn't know who I was. Then to leadership. Are you with me? Are you with me? I want you to know who I am. Right? In my senior year at Drexel, I was recruited by a Fortune 500 company in America, the Vanguard Group of investment company. Google it, it's there. I worked there for 9 years before I came here. All right? I worked there for 9 years, all the way to project manager. So when I came here, IT technician, this and that, they didn't know who I was. They denigrate everything that is good about their fellow citizens in this country. They hate good people. We hate good people here. I'm not praise myself, I count myself as one of the good Liberians. They denigrate everything in politics. Because we disagree, then you denigrate who I am. I don't do that. It's not worth it. Tell me, what is the difference in our politics anyway? It is about the contestation of who's sitting in a seat. What you do with the seat doesn't matter. Then when they give you the seat, you screw up. This is who I am. That's how I got to the top. So I went up, then that for 9 years, recruited through their leadership program. I went on and built my first home in America. I still live in that house today. I built it from scratch, using income from Vanguard. Vanguard had a partnership program. All right? Up to the time I left Vanguard, I had about 230 shares of the company value. Depending on the value of the stock market, usually sometimes when the stock market does well, they quote the value, you can make up to $100,000 just for one partnership distribution. That's how I was able to bring my siblings to America. That's how I was able to take care of those who couldn't come here. That's how I was able to build, this relationship with people across the U.S. So it didn't start when I came to government here, but this is who I am. It was there that Madame Celine got to know about me, and then invited me to work to get her. And all of you, those who have read her book, know that she mentioned this in the book. This child will be great. I am the only Liberian who she talks about. Because of the work I did. She went into my house, had dinner with my family. She knew who I was. She knew how hard I worked to get there. She drew me in, and I never lied to her. I protected her back to make sure that she could lead this country. Okay? If you're looking for a loyal friend, come to Amara Corner. I'm a loyal person. That's who I am. That's who I am. That's how I got here. When I got here, one of my strengths was, don't lie. When you have these guys who think they're smart, sit on the table, and you discuss and you agree, you get a handshake, Amara Corner, don't undercut them. Let them be the one to undercut you. Be honest. So when I came here, I was nobody. I was at the Ministry of State. Alright? I was at the Ministry of State. It was my hard work and consistency and honesty and loyalty and commitment to this country that got me in this building. I never asked for it, but got me there. And when I went there, everybody who came with their issues, I honestly tried to solve them within the law. If you were a lawmaker, you were struggling in your district, etc., I help you. I work with the opposition to make sure that we get peace in this country. That doesn't make anybody corrupt. When 2011 happened and they killed the ball at CDC headquarters, it was me working with the American ambassador at the time, with the UNSRSG, and Mr. David Lambo, the Secretary General of the UN Special Envoy to Liberia, to discuss peace between President Salif and Mr. Winston Tubman. You recall that Mr. Tubman accused President Salif of attempting to kill him. You recall that. It was a big issue at the international level. Ban Ki-moon, the former Secretary General, sent a man here, David Lambo. He was in the Royal Hotel. I was the one, protected by an American Marine, in the night, was shuttling between Prince Johnson, this person, that person, in this town while people were sleeping. I risked my life for peace in this country, and no man will take it from me.
Lived in that two environment. Trump let him go. He was the chief guy of the oil deal. Remember, this report is 2018. It came out 2018. On the bigger platform, we never give you the information that Jay Rennie is giving you here, because you know what? They are not part of the solution of our country. They are part of the problem of our country. Any politician that, all right, for Global Witness that got Vanny Sherman banned today, that got Eddie Starter fired from the speaker position. This man, as you can see below here, in 2013, they did something about dirty thing. The very money they took from the Liberian people, it's the same money he's trying to bring back to the country now. Because he feel that the younger generation, like I said, if you are 12 years old and say he left, you are now 18. So you don't know your history. So he's not coming back now. He's not coming back now to tell you that, oh, I want to be president now. But let's go deeper into who Mr. Amara Kone is here now. Yes, let's go into who Mr. Amara Kone is here now, folks. That's how they play their game. That's how they play their political game. If you were 12 years old, because when Eddie left office, Eddie was in office for 12 years. So that means any child that was born in 2005 or 2004, by the time Eddie left office, you were around 12 years old. After Eddie left office 5 years ago, you are either what? 17 years old now, or you're 18 years old since Eddie left office. So when Eddie left, you were 12 years old. You didn't know nothing much. So American King and Sarah in America here. Nobody knew who he was. And after 5 years now, he returned to Liberia. So most of the generation that were 12 years old now are turning 17 years old. Some of them are 18 years old. He coming out and they don't know him. And you got the greedy, you got the greedy journalists. They're good for nothing, better driven journalists that don't even look at people. I dare you what I'm telling you now. The information I'm giving you here, the day you hear it on spoon, be dumber in my butt. Sorry for my expression, but I had concern I am. These guys that you found on the bigger platform will never give you the information that Jay Rennie is giving you here, because you know what? They are not part of the solution of our country. They are part of the problem of our country. Any politician that comes on any platform where you think you got the Liberian people to listen to you, you must be able to give them information about the politician history so that they can know who they're dealing with. But these guys with a bigger platform, because they feel that they are in the pocket of these journalists, and the second, into the public official pocket. The second thing is they want to gain fame. When they go out, oh, man, yeah, you are on, yeah, man, let's take a picture. Those things are not going to do any goddamn thing for the country. Nothing. So they live in a two environment. One, they keep their mouth shut because they got connection with the lawmakers or former government official. Two, they just want the popularity. That's all they want. And that is why they will not give you guys any information that you deserve to know. But thank God that Jay Randy is here. Thank God that he didn't get a damn about anybody. He didn't need no damn job from nobody. I'm not going to run away from here. How can you say you're working with War Band now? Instead, you go to that brother now to go retire. Instead, you go to that brother and say, okay, I'm here to come teach. You heard it, man. I'm here. I'm going to teach. I'm going to run. So everything you're doing in America here now, that to go run now, that all you coming for now, right? What are you coming to run for now? To come and build your wealth. Because that is the format they got. They go to the country and rob the country and then run away and then they relax for a while and say, you know what? Out of sight, out of mind. Let's stay here for 5 years. After 5 years, the people forget about us. When we go back now, our title still remain the same. Ladies and gentlemen, you got the finance minister, former finance minister is here. He said he had to run. And then you get their money to the people there. Yeah, finance minister, that country is fucked up. It is fucked up. And that's why I believe in Mr. Cummings now. Because he has not done any of those things yet. So I'm not going to judge Mr. Cummings now until Mr. Cummings becomes president. That when I will either eye into the group or I will say this is a different leader. All these guys had done nothing for Liberia. So now let's get to the real nitty-gritties here now. Yeah, thank you very much, UNDP. Yeah, I think I was right. Yes, you said I was right. I was UNDP. Thank you very much, Sis Agnes. Yes. So now let's go to what Mr. Amara Conan did to Liberia. Brace yourself, folks. Brace yourself. You are dealing with Jay Randy, the man who loves to do research to expose people with bad behavior. So you ready? Let's go to what Amara Conan did to you and your grandchildren, both in America and in Liberia. All right? So let's go and share some information here for you guys here. All right? Let's go and share some information. All right? So we are here, and this is the report here. Ready? Go. All right, I'm sure you can see this. I'm watching the screen right now here. So let's see. It's loading up from my end there. There you go. There you go. So we'll be in the window here, and then we'll go up here. How many of you guys remember this thing here before? Catch me if you can. Catch me if you can. You guys remember this story here? Some of you guys should be knowledgeable about this very story here. Catch me if you can. All right? There's a movie made by Leonardo DiCaprio, Catch Me If You Can. If you watch that movie, this is how Global Witness titled this. Global Witness is an independent auditing firm that go around the world and audit people. So what did Amara Conan do? Now, Black 13 was a very important block of the oil deal. Remember, this report is 2018. It came out 2018, right around the time Mr. Weah took office. So let's see what Mr. Amara Conan did here. This is Black 13 right here. Black 13 is around not too far from the coastal line of Monroeville. Chevron came and decided to purchase the block, but the block was in the hands of a company from Canada. But because Chevron felt that the block is very important to Liberia, so they came in with big money, and Eddie Johnson said he fell for it. What happened when Eddie Johnson said he fell for it? Chevron came and put some money down. Now, this thing is very, very big, folks. Very, very big. So these are the companies here, company and government agencies that participated in the American Petroleum Institute, API, and then you got the Hydrocarbon Technical Committee, you got NOCAL, you got the Security and Exchange Commission. These institutions were notified by the Global Witness report about some clandestine operation. Now, who are the people in here? You got Randolph McLean here, who used to be the head of NOCAL. All right, you don't hear about him anymore because this guy was drawing $30,000 during the Ellen Johnson City administration. $30,000 a month. That's how much the guy was drawing, and he was just a guy who worked for DuPont and didn't make that money in America here. But he went to Liberia and made such a big money. And as you can see the name here, come in here. This is Robert Salif, the guy who broke NOCAL down. All right, why am I giving you all the information? Because I want to empower you with knowledge. All right, now. In addition to that, Black 13, all right? This is Black 13 here, as you can see to the far left corner here, Black 13. The Liberia Oil Licensing Offshore Black 13 awarded BC P by Nukal in 2005 and rectified. The national legislature, those guys are a bunch of corrupt individuals. When you see guys that Senator John Balloon passing around over there, you might not waste your time. Those guys are all corrupt people. The extractive industry too. This is another independent organization here. Then you have the section 15.4 here. Now let's go down the horn here, folks. Let's go down the horn here. This is the story right here. All right, but this is not what I want you to look at here. Let's come down here. This guy worked for Trump. Trump let him go. He was the chief guy for for ExxonMobil. Let's go down the horn here. So what happened there in 2013? 2013, Monrovia, Liberia, April 2013, $120 million deal was given to Nukal. Now watch what's going to happen here, folks. What's going to happen here? The Global Witness Organization said that this deal should not go through because it doesn't represent the people of Liberia. But what the Ellen Johnson said they didn't do, they ignored that. All right? Even Lita, they all talk about that. Now, what happened here? This is all the payment here. Folks, when you work for the white man country, they give you all the proof in the world. And that's one reason why I believe in Mr. Cummings, because when you saw that report that came out from the Global Witness, it was something that I saw. Every money that was sent, taxpayer reported outside of ExxonMobil. So ExxonMobil, $120 million. This is how the money was disbursed. All right. The people got all copied. There are some areas that are redacted here. Now let's come down here. Let's keep going down here. Let's keep going down. Let's keep going down the horn here. Now, these are the people who made a significant contribution to support Global Witness team. You have all the guys listed to your right here and down here. These are the people who made a significant contribution. Now, let's come to the government here now. What did the government do? Timeline. I want you to pay attention to this here. Timeline events of the war black. Between 2003 and 2005, Jonathan Mason served as the Minister of Mining. All right, Mining Minister. I don't know who the hell is Jonathan Mason, but what did he do? From 2003 to 2005, Mobile Willis served as Deputy Minister of Mining. These guys were the ones who were engaging. So let's look at the timeline here, right? Let's start from 2000 here. You see how the women did the thing right here for you guys? Let me lower the screen here a little bit here. Let's reduce the size of the screen. Let's see where we can reduce the size here because it's at 184 right now. So you can see, I'm sure you can see that here. So let's go up here. So we're doing a presentation here on Amara Corner here, folks. This is what the people did to your country. On Ellen Johnson said it. In 2000, this was during Taylor time. So we'll skip Taylor time. But let's start from 2006 of August here. All right. 2006 of August here. Because as you can see, it's right down here, folks. Let's forget about Taylor time. All right. Let's start with Ellen Johnson Salif. All right. Let's start here. Let me just bring it down because I don't want to move the elevator screen there so fast. So let's look at 2006 here, right? Let's come to August here, 2006. All right, let's come to August here. So what happened here? On August 22nd, 2006, Nukal Board discussed $75,000 payment from BCM. By August 28, 2006, $50,000 bribe paid by Nukal to the Liberian National Legislature, folks. $50,000. Each of those guys got $50,000 each to rectify that deal. $50,000. That's what each of them got. They were ratifying the deal to remove the company and get Chevron Mobile because that was part of the $120 million upfront payment. That was the guy they got. Let's move up here. Akara's Green, all of them in that thing there, folks. All of them in that thing. September 2009, $26,900 bribe paid by Nukal to the Liberia National Legislature, facilitating approval for Black Tech Team. By April 4, 2017, $25,000 bribe paid by Nukal to the Liberia National Legislature. So every step around the way, those guys were getting money. Every step along the way, they were getting money. You see how the guys robbing the country out there? Do you hear people on spoon? Do you hear Costa talking about these things? You keep wasting your time. When I tell you about 2065, it wants Liberia to become a better country, coming with only try his best because the country is filthy, rotting. That's what the guy did today. All right. So by April 15, they gave them again a breakdown out of the $50,000, 15,000 bribe by Nuka paid to the national legislature. By April 17, they gave them 1,500 bribe, and that completed all the 50,000 they requested for to get the deal done. Now let's go back. They finished with the national legislature now. They got to come down now to the other big boys in now, right? All right. So let's come down here. So from April, all right, we got January, February, March. All right. So in March here, March 26, Nuka make a $17,888 suspicious payment to Senator Clayton Watterson, chairman. All right. Witherspoon, chairman of the Senate Lands and Mine Committee. All right. And he was in the national legislature. All right. By the same money again, Nuka made $163,000 suspicious payment to Burma Fuller, another guy again. And then the other guy here again, they make a $210,000 worth of unusual large payment to Liberian government official, including founder, minister of money, and Nuka boss. Folks, we are giving you information here. This is J. Rainey here, folks. That's why I'm not going to Liberia, folks. That's why I don't associate myself with Liberia in the country here, because the information that we can release out here is not making them to feel good about me. So don't feel offended if I say I'm not coming to your place or I'm not coming to your event, because I always already got in skin. All right. So let's go down the horn here. Let's go down the horn here. All right. Let's go down the horn here. So what happened here again? Let's go down the horn. Let's skip the page here and go down the horn here, folks. Let's skip the page so that American and Mayor see order. So the legislature guys, those guys are a bunch of corrupt individuals in that place calling themselves lawmakers and stuff like that. So let's go down the horn here. Let's move down the horn here. All right. Now, meeting concerning Black Tech thing. Now, this is getting interesting here now, right? So let's go down the horn here, folks. There go the madam there, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Yes, smiling because she has mortgaged the country economy that her grandchildren will benefit from. You guys passing around, oh, they're thinking that you got hope. These are the strong people in here now. Who do you see here? Randall McLean, all right? Nuka, Robert Sirleaf, Nuka, all right? Now, let's come down the horn here. Let's come down the horn here. So this is all the Black Tech Team payment that we're going here now, right? 700% of Black Tech Team to COPL. Let's skip the page here, folks. Now, final deal. This is where I want us to start from right now. Final deal. The final 2013 deal. How Black Tech Team got sold. March the 8th. 68.5 million loan with Echo Bank. Nuka approved that. Haiti Nuka got that money because they were living with $120 million that were given to them upfront. And that money was put into that bank account for payment. So now let's look at the circle here. We got number one. Let's go to number two. Because number one, they put the money in our bank. What happened to number two? On April the 5th, the foreign ratification of Black 13 by Liberia National Legislature draw down Nuka loan. So every one of them got that money. It was there for them to go and cash out. Nobody should go in that bank to take any money from there. Let's go to number three. Number three, PC, transfer 100% of Black 13 to Copa. Now, let's go to number four. Copa transfer that to the transfer 80% of Black 13. So they were taking those company away now from Nuka. That's why they were doing, from the company that owned that. Now, let's go up again. After 4, we go to 5, as we were taught. On April the 5th, ExxonMobil paid $120 million to Echo Bank. Wow. 120. Those boys were playing with money. Now, what happened after the 5th? You go to the 6th. Where is the 6th? The 6th is right up here, folks. All right. Echo Bank paid Nuka $5 million. What happened then? And then number 7, look up here. It says Liberian Ministry of Finance. So we're coming now into American zone right now, folks. You got to hit that like button. You got to hit that like button, folks. You need to hit that like button. You need to hit that like button. And you need to pay into my little cash app, folks. You need to pay. These are essential information that you will pay money for. But Jeremy is doing the best here. So please, guys, you send out $5. You send out $2. I'm begging you guys. You got their own spoon with the Liberian government to get them big money, and they will just come and lie to you guys. We are giving you a breakdown now, folks. We are giving you the breakdown. American in our town, this is why he wants to run. So Echo Banks, number 7, Echo Bank pay finance ministry $45 million. All right. And then number 8, EcoBank pay itself $68 million to retire loan to BCC. Now, you see that? So let's move down the horn here. Let's move down the horn here. We'll come down now and see how that money play out now. So let's go down the horn here. All right, let's go down the horn. These are all the different transactions, but we're coming to something very essential here now, folks. Let's keep moving down. Let's keep moving down. Let's keep moving down. Now, these are all the people here now that were getting all the little hula baloo money and stuff like that. We're not interested in anywhere because we don't want to spend more time on this issue here. All right. So now, here's it right here, folks. Here's it right here. This is where we want to start now, folks. All right. In 2013, we read above the 3 people here. Christina Tar, she was the Justice Minister for Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Mr. Patrick Sandolo, yes, he was part of the whole thing here too. He was at the Ministry of Lands. And then, of course, you got your man, Amara Corner here, right? So let's see what happened here, folks. Let's see what happened here. I want you to look to your top left corner here where it says these payment. I will probably highlight that so you can see. You see what I'm highlighting here? So follow my lead right here. Let's read right here. All right. These payments were called bonuses. According to them, they said that were bonuses. But Global Witness did not see that yet. Each of them received $35,000. These guys here to rob our country future. All right. So what happened here? Here is the payment here, folks. April the 5th, 500. Who calling me again, my people? Hold on here, guys. Hold on here. Somebody calling me. I'll be right back. Yeah, hold on. $1,000 out of it and decided to pay all any government official. Christina Tar, she received $35,000. Member of the Hydrocarbon Technical Committee. What does Christina Tar know about hydrocarbon? What does she know about hydrocarbon? She signed on her black. All right. She signed for that money. In March of 2018, that payment she received was a bonus authorized by Nukal. That's how the bribing start now. That's how the bribing start, folks. All right. Then you got Sandoro here. On May the 1st, Sandoro came to he signed for a part of check. And then you got Robert Sedi, he signed for a part of check. And then you got Nettie David, she signed for a part of check. You got Randall McLean, he signed for a part of check. There go your man Amara Corner right here. Amara Corner signed for a part of check. All right. He signed for a part of check here. Those guys mortgaged the country. Now let's go down here. As you can see here, they mortgaged the country. These are all the checks that were sent to them here. They redacted some of the areas here so that you guys cannot see the detail. What they did to our country, they robbed our people out of everything. So now, let's stop the share right here, folks. Let's stop the share here. And if you need that information, folks, you got to pay me. I'm just kidding. The information, I'm just kidding, man. You didn't get better than that. I'm just kidding.
I'm not here to talk about budget shortfall. I'm here to tell you who I am and what I did for this country when it was sleeping. We made deals with the opposition not because we were afraid of them. In a country like Liberia, when you get power, you got to bring the other people to the table. That's inclusion. The driver of conflict is exclusion, marginalization, and bad governance. Those are the 3 main drivers of any conflict in the world. So when you get power, make sure you reach halfway to the other people. Bring them closer. Alright? Some of the things that happen only have happened when you have people from the other side in your system, helping you to make it better. That's what I did. That's what I did. Everybody know the opposition people are bringing finance minister. I'm calling you, you know them. You know them. You know the opposition people are brought in the finance ministry, you know them. I didn't do it because I was afraid of them, but it was the best part of it. We did it mainly to address.
Here, folks. What's going to happen here? The Global Witness Organization said that this deal should not go through because it doesn't represent the people of Liberia. But what the Ellen Johnson said they didn't do, they ignored that. All right? Even Lita, they all talk about that. Now, what happened here? This is all the payment here. Folks, when you work for the white man country, they give you all the proof in the world. And that's one reason why I believe in Mr. Cummings, because when you saw that report that came out from the Global Witness, It was something that I saw. Every money that was sent, taxpayer reported outside of ExxonMobil. So ExxonMobil, $120 million. This is how the money was disbursed. All right. The people got all copy. There are some areas that are redacted here. Now let's come down here. Let's keep going down here. Let's keep going down. Let's keep going down the horn here. Now, these are the people who made a significant contribution to support Global Witness team. You have all the guys listed to your right here and down here. These are the people who made a significant contribution. Now, let's come to the government here now. What did the government do? Timeline. I want you to pay attention to this here. Timeline events of the war black between 2003 and 2005. Jonathan Mason served as on spoon. Did you hear? Number 3, PC. This case with Global Witness, this story is still out there. So what happened here? American were trying to clear his name here. American reject Global Witness assertion, says Bono, not bribery. American told bribe. What you guys did here, folks? Let me tell you what they did here to the country. Let me tell you what they did here to the country. All right? Let me tell you what they did here to the country. All the oil block in Liberia. Ellen Johnson said he sold all the oil blocks. The only one that left are the one that in Maryland. So 60 years from now, the $120 million that have been given to the national legislature, they signed that deal. 60 years from now, 50 years from now, when you are old and in a wheelchair, and your grandchildren come to you and tell you, say, Mommy or Grandma, Liberia finally got oil. What I'm discussing to you here today, the American can keep their document for centuries. Ellen have mortgaged all the major oil blocks, including the Chevron one we're discussing here. So when Liberia finally got oil, and your grandchildren, your great-great-grandchildren thinking that Liberia going to be a rich country now. And then those young people today that in America here will be the tycoon then in the company then. The name can change. The company name will change. But that document, they will fly to go to Liberia. And while your grandchildren in there dancing, oh, we got oil. They will bring all the documents and say, in the year 2013, there were some leaders there around here that signed this contract that you're only going to get 5% of the oil deal. And your grandchildren would say, what? What happened? Ellen Johnson said he would be dead and gone. Most of the national legislature will be dead. You and myself, many all will be dead and gone. And the children will just be there. What? And that's why I'm suggesting now that everyone in the government, they should be buried in one place. Bury all of them in one place. So when the children finally realize their eye open, take them to that great sign and say, you see that other great water here? They want to call Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. They want to call Amara Conner. These are the people that fuck the country up and let the train decide what they will do with that grave. Ellen signed everything to the Americans. So all that upfront bonus they were getting, you know, when Liberia say, what inside for me? They were already getting their own and never care for the future. You see the Firestone 99-year contract they signed. How many of us were around when Firestone signed that 99-year contract with Charles D.B. King? How many of you guys were around? None of you guys were around, right? But up to today, when we talk about manufacturing in our country, don't we mention Firestone? Now think about what Ellen had done to the country. So Amber Colin got their cut. So he coming back now with what they had gotten, and it's not just that $35,000. There's a lot of money that Amber Colin accumulated in our country. Now he coming back now. And now I want you to listen to him now. I want you now to listen to him now. He's coming back now. So now that you know him,
well, at this point, in terms of political ambition, all options are on the table. I haven't made any specific decision yet. I will do that after consulting with the people of both Most Rally and Babylon. But I can tell you for sure that all options are on the table, and I will be a candidate in 2023.
So what are you will be a candidate? Yes. Politics will be participating. What are some of the activities you'll be carrying out?
Apart from politics, I'm a businessman also. I have a big farm, and I have about 500 Liberians working for me for the past 5 years. I will be spending some time with them to help them get better in that line of business that we're in. Also, I will be visiting the schools because I would like to teach some of the universities here as well, including LU. And I would like to visit my family and friends, particularly those we lost during COVID, to sympathize with them and to pray for their souls. So a lot of things are on my table, but I can tell all of you that I'm here specifically to address the climate, that I will be a candidate for office in 2023. I don't know if it is impopular or not, but it will happen.
After several years of being away, there are hundreds of Liberians out there who have come to welcome you. What does this mean for you?
I'm overwhelmed. I'm touched, really. As I read the messages today on my Facebook post, I cried a bit. Look at them. I don't know what to say. I'm just touched by it, and it tells me really that the little that I did here was appreciated. You never know that you've done well in office until you leave.
Specifically, there was the voice of Amara Kone, former Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Republic of Liberia, and just arrived from the United States of America after several years of being away. Viewers, wherever you are, if you are just joining, welcome. This is Shkon TV, Liberia. My name is Sekou Aminata Kone, reporting from the Rabos International Airport, where hundreds of Liberians have gathered to welcome Amara Kone, former Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Republic of Liberia. So welcome to Shkon TV, Liberia. My name is Sekou Aminata Kone. You just listening to Amara Kone in an exclusive interview with the press. According to him, he will be a candidate in 2023. So welcome. What are
coming to come and get what they can get out of that feces. It will be so many flies for a day or two. As gross as it sounds to you, after a few weeks down the road or days, when that feces loses the nutrients that the fly likes, they start to go away and start to look for another feces. That is how Liberians are. Every generation in our country, every leadership in our country, there will always be a few population of people that will follow a certain group. But then at the end of that group term, the country remained the same and nothing changed. That's what's been happening. Some of us have been around for a very long time. And that's what we come to tell you guys. So whenever I tell you guys that I'm not going to Liberia to live, it is not because I dislike my country or I hate my country. But I think I'm old enough to understand now, after seeing many decades and decades of how we decide not to make progress. And with what I have learned in this country that made me successful and made many Liberians successful in this country, but yet they are not willing to understand. They know it, right? But they don't understand it. Your right to know something is your right to understand. And the understanding part of your right to know will give you the ability to move beyond. Because knowing something is clearly becoming a teacher of what you are ready to teach. We haven't reached that level yet. And that's the challenge we have. So a guy like me, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel certified going in a culture of people in my country that will see what I'm trying to talk about becoming very strange. Take, for example, we're having the conversation right now, right? We can barely get to 20 people to listen to this kind of intelligent conversation. But right now, if I were to get here and start to use profanity, cursing your mom, cursing your dad, the number will start to go up, because that is what our incoming generation and the present generation are into right now. So what make you think that Liberia will be a better country? What make you think with that kind of mindset will make you to be a better country? The country has been conditioned today where people will not look at politics. Whether you are a neurosurgeon, whether you are a public health expert, you come on any platform, you're talking about anything relevant to Liberia, they just come and look at the page like this. Oh, they got talking about safety on the street. Man, this thing not important, man. Let me go to the other one here. Then the next thing you go, look, oh yeah, yesterday, Mary boyfriend put her clothes out. Oh yeah, good, let me share it. That is the kind of culture we're living through, my friend. That is the kind of culture we're living through. And with that kind of mindset, we will always be subject to other countries around us. And that in the eyes of the white man will always feel that they will always look up to us for their own survival. That is the reality here. That is the reality. That is the reality. We are not making any progress, friends. Look at Mr. Amara Kone, a man who worked in an administration that many Liberians were bitter about. As finance minister, he talked about the poverty reduction program. He had even violated the own rule of poverty reduction, because Mr. Amara Kone, as finance minister, they all were about the poverty reduction program, right? 2030, they wanted to create a middle class. As finance minister under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, what did he do? Nothing. Now he's coming back, and people who are subjected to poverty and ignorance and low educational rate are all lined up at the airport there, going to welcome the guy who once upon a time was serving as finance minister and said he was fighting against poverty. For 12 years, the government he worked for did not even show to us any accomplishment or progress as it relates to reducing poverty. But today, Liberians are on the street there trying to welcome him. That is what we call a broad day insanity. The insanity of that is based on the fact that government in the past and the present government continue to keep our people into extreme and subjective poverty, keeping the minds of our people very ignorant, that the least thing that you expect them to do in our country, they are not going to do it. And that's the reason why, to be honest with you guys, I will say this, whether I hear you or not, that society is not a place for some of us to be right now, because the dependency syndrome will either cause you to die early or to sell even your organ in your body to help somebody. This finance minister who served in our country has lived all a good life for himself and his family, but now he's returning to Liberia. And the people who live under that government, under extreme poverty, are welcoming him today. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? All because he was elevated. You see how we embrace people who harm us, then how we reject people who trying to help us? That's the Liberian mindset there. We reject people who trying to give us better knowledge, and then we embrace people who harm us. And that is why sometimes I don't blame Nathaniel McGill when he say, when we steal the money, we stay here, right? And sometimes he's right. If you look at our culture, our social engineering, because remember, social engineering is a practice, a form of practice where people who have little knowledge tend to use majority of the people for their own liking. And then the applicability of that social engineering is very selective to the liking of the individual or individual who want to use our people in the wrong direction. For example, like I said, political party identity is another form of social engineering. You engineer the people's mind to identify with a certain group of people based on a political party association. And that is very common in our country. People identify themselves with a political party. What are the party going to do better for the rest of the other people? No. Once you are part of that party, then your social applicability to that individual becomes so important and defensive. And that is why today you will hear the word die hard fan, die hard this. And then we also have tribal identity. People will identify themselves with other tribal groups because they believe that in tribal union, we stand strong. But if you look at all these things here, they tend to destroy our future, my fellow Liberians. They tend to destroy it. The reason why Liberia had not been able to make any progress in 1847 is because our past leader and present leader our past and present leader have failed to put in place a roadmap that will begin to look at what we had done wrongly in the past and what we can do today to fix it. You see, my friend, today is Sunday. The God that many of you guys want to worship today, he created two things. God created man. And God also gave us the earth. He put man on the earth. And that is why today every country got a population of people. And the population of people must roll back their sleeves and begin to fight and develop their country. Fight against illiteracy. Because the original sin that was created on the face of the planet, it is not the Adam and sin. Because the Adam and Eve sin is more biblical, but we will look at the social aspect of our original sin, because our social interaction with each other must be guided by a rules, guidelines, and principles that we must follow. We need to follow these things, but we are not being able to follow these things. So every country, those are all who worship Allah, those are all who worship God, no matter the name you gave him, he has given two things on the planet here. He created man in his own image, and he gave every man a piece of land. And that is why today we all identify ourselves with our homeland. People will always ask you, where are you from originally? They are asking for your own country of identity. I am an American, but I'm from Liberia. But what have we done? God gave us land, right? And he gave us human being. The population of people must multiply every day to increase the population of our people to compete. And we should use that population of people to improve our land to live a happy life until the end of life comes for us. But what have we done since 1847? Or since 1822? Or since 1820? Western says, Yvonne, welcome to the show. If you look at our progress, we have not been able to achieve anything as a country. I will be honest with you. Because no matter how long you stay in America here, how many children you born here, how old they are today, how many grandchildren you got, there are things in Liberia that you will not tell them in the form of a story. But you will take them from here after being in the country for 40 years, 50 years, and go back to Liberia and show them exactly what you're talking about because those things remain unchanged. Kind of make me to think that Liberia need to be the first country to be turned into a museum. Because I'm not kidding with you guys. You see things that you're talking about, and when you go back to Liberia, you see the same thing happening over there. Amara Cummings left that country a long time ago as finance minister, and he's coming back, and people are lining up on the street, welcoming a finance minister who served in a government that cannot measure the success of what they had done for the people of Liberia. Matter of fact, the poverty rate had increased in the country, and then they welcome him. But there's a timing factor to that, right? After all the years America left Liberia, why is he coming out on the eve year of election? Because it's hunting season now. It's time now to give a handout now. Because they have subjected our people to extreme poverty. And they know with the ignorance minds of the people, it becomes now a matter of using that subjective poverty to pay out to them now. So I would not be surprised if America say he want to be president. Because that's how Liberia is, folks. That's how our country is. He stayed all the years in America here. Nobody here but him. You know, the funny thing about it, Liberians will welcome people back home. Any Dick and Harris will leave from here will go to Liberia and be welcomed as a king. But when they're coming back here, I often wonder why we don't go meet those very people that are welcome in our country. And this is where you will disagree with me, but I will tell you the fact today because this is Sunday. It's a where I will tell you that the white man country is better than the black man country. You can disagree with me all you want. Let me get the Bible right now. Where's my Bible at? Let me get my Bible here. I will kiss it. There go the Holy Bible here. You can disagree with me all you want. It is the truth. Because you and I know very well that I cannot go to your hall to worship you in this country. Why? Because of financial independence. 5 million people in Liberia is a piece of cake. Not even equivalent to the population of Los Angeles or New York City. That's what we got in Liberia over there. But with the little wealth we got, we are now willing to equally distribute that. We're not willing to do that. And that is why you'll find people living from here and going back to Liberia, and you find men and women, grown people, running in the street to go welcome somebody. Why? Because that's how we are being conditioned. That's how we are being conditioned. We are accepted as a way of life in our country because of social engineering. Because of social engineering, we are welcome that. We are considered to be our way of life now. It is acceptable now for us. People will come and tell us, go in the street. Cultural identity is part of the social engineering. Tribal identity is part of the social engineering. Ethnic identity is part of the social engineering. But I think the key should be our national identity that make us to be more of a Liberia-centric. The centricity of being a Liberian is, if American can come from America here, well, we too can go to America and come back. We may not have the equivalent money he got. At least we got something that we can give for ourselves at the end of the year or end of the month or every 2 weeks to our family. But we don't do those things. And that's the same thing happening today in the Weah government. They are using social engineering to divide. But in the division process, they are subjecting the ignorant minds into extreme poverty and lack of education. Because that will condition them. That will statue them in a place where they cannot move. Have you seen a statue moving before? No. Unless you watch that at the museum. That will statue them in a place. And that means that they will be continually depending on our people. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to listen to this lady they call Rosalind Dennis, Representative Rosalind Dennis. She said one of the insane things that I believe that nobody will ever mention. She is starting to have a program because she got elected in 2018. So by next year, she will be out for re-election. So now she's surfacing out now, bringing her charm, her beautiful face now on Facebook now, try to conjure some of those good-for-nothing Liberian men there who, when they see women now, all their tongue dropping down here. She coming now on Facebook now, trying to discuss national issue. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? After all the years, Rosalind was never being seen on, and I'm not here to talk about Rosalind, whether she don't like CDC or she like, no. Today's topic here is about subjecting our people to extreme poverty and using them based on their ignorance. So today I'm being very neutral. I'm not here for any party today. Like I said, I am on Facebook technically on for 2 reasons. One, I look at my professional career and see how I can impact my country. The second reason is most often is talking about politics and the field leadership of our country and who we could find. And in this direction, I'm looking at Mr. Cummings. But with all of that today, I want to put on my professional hat and begin to discuss things that are impacting our country. Because if we don't understand these things that are impacting our country, Mr. Cummings can be there for the next 27 years. If the mind of the people are not prepared to understand Mr. Cummings' leadership, it's going to be another frustrating leadership for him. And in the end, he's just going to put his hands on and say, I give up. You know why? Because for 175 years, we cannot figure out what we really want. So if that same mindset is transported into Mr. Cummings' leadership, we will only get that victory, but the battle will continue. And that is why sometimes I take our time to discuss these things here from a society deficiency standpoint and look at the deviation of what is affecting our society and how can we re-engineer an action plan to begin to discuss the challenges in our country. And that comes with the form of social engineering. Social engineering is one of the key factors that we need to understand that continue to embarrass us. Yes, it's continue to embarrass us in the form of we not being able to do things for ourselves. All right, so we have to stay away from social engineering that has to do with religious identity, that have to do with tribal identity, ethnic identity, party identity, cultural identity, and then focus on national identity. Because the national identity will bring every one of us together on a one team that we all are Liberian and we should all be given equal level of treatment under the law. We are not doing those things. What make you think that Americana is so better that when you went to Liberia, you cannot get a rising welcome from the population of people? But when a government official who have harmed the country in so many ways that their children are benefiting in other countries, but when they know they cannot get the job they want, and then they're waiting for election to come, all the little money they have stolen, then they get ready and say, oh yeah, it's time to go to Liberia now, election coming now. How much do I have in the bank now? Well, I think I got $500,000 in the bank now. Okay, I'm going to Liberia now to go run. Why? Because the very people that we harm, they still living in extreme poverty. They are getting older, no education, no money in the bank. They got no retirement fund. When they see us, because we been the face of them before in the past, they will recognize us. But if any Dick and Harry leave from here who got a very good mindset to make Liberia better, what's up, among you? We're not going to listen to that person over there. That is the killer of our future for the next generation. The people are not ready, folks. They are not ready. And this is why I'm here. So I listened to Rosalind, all right? They call her Rosalind Dennis, all right? Rosalind Dennis, all right? I don't know whether there's any attachment to Mr. Henry Dennis or my good old friend, his son, or Arthur Dennis, but that is not a concern to me right now. It is the action that I'm concerned about. One person committing a crime representing a country does not equate the entire country to be guilty of that person's crime. So I'm going to discuss her here as a subject here. Rosalind Denny as a representative in one of the county, all right? In one of the county, all right? One of the county. She came on yesterday and spoke about the issue of the $30,000. I think Rosalind, she needs to be able to reach out to people who are very schooled in crafting law or making suggestions to her, because the justification she gave yesterday, it doesn't hold water in the civil law world we find ourselves in here. Yes. Rosalind Swakoko Dennis, yes. She need to be a little bit guarded in what she says and how she says things, because if you listen to that, and I can guarantee you this evening, when I come back here to do the video presentation of the show, I will clearly demonstrate, not me now, but I will present to you what she said, because I already downloaded that, already. But what she said yesterday, so someone, because she's trying now to interact with the people now, and I will call that last minute to the time, right? Because she's there for 6 years. So she and George Weah then came to office because representatives are in power for 6 years, right? So she and George Weah then started together. So she out for re-election. Because when I last look up her name, she is like, she started in 2018. So she trying to open out the, participatory inter-knowledge exchange that we talk about here more often, PRKE. So after she presented herself, and I don't care about what she said, but Prince Johnson, that is something that I care less about. But what I'm trying to draw your attention to here is what she was trying to justify. And that is part of the subjective poverty strategy that she is invested in already. So she said yesterday, how you doing, Sissy Montreal? She said yesterday, we are taking the $30,000. I mean, I called her very right, but tonight, trust me, we will verify everything because you'll be hearing from her mouth. And for the information, I already download that thing. So if she black me, she wasting your time, because every time I see a very important video, the first thing that I do is to download it. Yeah, because I know Liberian people, they're quick to run to black people. Because you know what? I also used to be the master of blacker too. So I'm a jack of all trades, and I'm the one who is part of the board of committee of blacking people. So I know the rules and I know how to react. So whenever I see videos like that, I usually go in there and just download it too. My sister Vivian laughing. I know everything I have to grab Vivian here too. So I already downloaded the video, and yes, I got the video. But a question was asked in regards to the $30,000. So this lady got up and she want to let the people know that she support the $30,000 that comes to her all the time. And her justification for that is, I have a lot of people that come to my door every day. You guys out there are not represented. I am a representative. People come to me for help. So that $30,000 is in demand. In fact, people came here, I ran all the water, I ran all the stuff. Since when public position became a charity for people who need help? Since when? Since when? If let's assume that government officials, especially lawmakers, who represent our people across the different districts and the county, let's assume that what they're saying, they are requesting for the higher budget in order to cater to our people. Then the question becomes, why are we wasting money on the other executive institution? For example, the Ministry of Health, the Social Welfare, and all the other institutions. Because these institutions should be able to get money from the government through the taxpayer and put in place programs so that when a family in a country cannot afford to feed themselves, they can go to that office and apply for certain benefits. Why? Because the lawmaker who represent these people cannot keep up. Why they cannot keep up? Right now, as we speak, there is a mom in Liberia that is giving birth right now. There is a mom in Liberia that is giving birth right now. That means that the population continue to increase. So what lawmaker going to be doing? Over the next 10 to 15 years, lawmaker is going to be asking for $1 million, right? I need $1 million in my budget. Why? Because I got a lot of people in this community here. The community keep growing. Is that how we're going to manage our country? God be damned. God be damned. So when that lady made that comment, as young as she looks, and she is, you will imagine that she will come to that office to begin to change the way of things. Because all guys in the past who felt that that was the right way, it doesn't mean how long they have been doing it mean it is right. But what application or what implication does it have on the society? How do you measure those things and look at the success? Are you draining yourself? Because what they're doing over there is they are conditioning the people. They have created a funnel wave that goes straight to the lawmakers. That means that the people in every community in that country believe that they cannot work for themselves. They don't believe in their institution. But there is a political honor to that. And the political honor tool is they want to keep the people in subjected poverty, use their ignorance so that they can be coming to them all the time. Coming to them what? All the time. Whenever they need money to even buy a thermosine or a fence, as we to call it. Yeah, we call that here maybe an leaf or Tylenol. They will go to them for it. That is the reason why they're doing those things. So she herself too, she's not being honest to the people because as long as she looked, she should be able to say, you know why? I think because she was justifying Prince Johnson as a man who killed people and did this and want for the name of an institution to be named after him. Give me a break, Rosalind. You are also financially robbing the people of equity and equality. They should not be coming to you because when you were not in that position, I don't think your parent went to any lawmaker. So why would you want to read that rule or retain that kind of behavior? Have you ever thought about that? Look, you see, many Liberians fail to realize that this social media we have now, and that's why we got to make sure our eyes are dotted and our teeth crossed. Because what I'm saying here today, there are many of you who will share the podcast. And by the way, you have to start sharing the podcast right now. You start to share the podcast right now, all right? You start, because if I will send your name, because Nathaniel Maggie saying that there are people in America that can send their name to the Department of Treasury. If you don't share the podcast here, I will send your name over there too, and they will sanction your too. Let me tell you right now. All right. So you better make sure you share that thing over there. Because what Nathaniel Maggie told us, Nathaniel Maggie said, when people don't like what we say, then they say our name. So if you don't want your name to be sent, please share the podcast. You know, I got to get rid of the frustration of that. I got to get rid of the frustration, all right? I got to get rid of the frustration to help people. I got my sister laughing today too. I got my sister laughing today too. Bro, it's crazy. It's a crazy country. Let me tell you right now. Let me drink my apple juice and more. I bought the one for my daughter. She said she didn't like it because it's pure organic. Ain't got no sugar in it. She's like, Daddy, I like the way. I said, yeah. I will drink it myself. Yeah, so yeah, please share the video. Yeah. We don't want for Maggie to say that we don't want. Yeah, so when I listen, I get all of you laughing every morning. It's good. Laughing is good for the soul. But I get about the serious business. This serious here. Let us see, because what I want you guys to understand here, part of the message here today, is Mr. Cummings is going to have a very tough time. He gets elected, he's going to have a very tough time because the national legislature, especially the representative that represent the people in the country, they are the most difficult people to work with. Because these people, both male and female, they have pre-populated their minds that as long as they serve a representative, there should be no money given to any institution that's supposed to provide the basic essential needs of our people, including funding the hospital to cover some of the medical bills. That is why today you find in Liberia people jumping out of the window of JFKs. Because you will imagine that they will be giving money to JFK to say, you know what, use some of this money as part of the labor work that you carry out, and then make payment arrangement with the patient. No, they want to siphon every money in their pocket. Anything that you think you deserve in a society from your district, the lawmakers will take charge of that. And that's the idea that Rosalind is trying to bring out here. That means if your child is to go to school, if the institution, Ministry of Education, is supposed to provide funding for your child, they take away that other opportunity from the ministry and put it in their pocket. Although in my district, we have to come to me for me to send their children to school. Medical situation, preventive health care, take your child to the hospital. Give me that money. I will take that money and put it in my pocket. When anybody want to send a child to the hospital, no matter the condition, they will come to me. Provide quality drinking water in the community. Utilize maybe the sanitation or hygiene or the Ministry of Public Welfare or whatever institution is supposed to drill well over there, or even fund the water and sewer with more money. No, give me that money, I will put it in my pocket. So what have they done? Every issue, you see the list here? Environmental issue, domestic, every issue in this country, on the list. These are political and social issues. Each lawmaker within their district will have a laundry list of this thing. And how do they fund it? Putting the money in their pocket. That means even if you have a natural disaster in your community, you go into the lawmaker. If you have crime, somebody break into your house, you go into the lawmaker. If you have issue with transportation, the lawmakers. If we have that kind of mindset from our lawmakers, here is where it gets very difficult to manage. The population is going to increase. The population will increase, and with a high population increment, that means the cost to maintain those people, it has to keep up too. It has to keep up. So then what will happen in time to come? I'm not an economist, but as an engineer, I can tell you that in time to come, it will take a solid mash up. That means the more the population increase, the more the money will be in demand from the lawmaker, from the budget. So if a guy got 50,000 people right now in the community, within the next 10 years, if that increases to 70,000, and he was getting maybe 100,000, he will request for more. We can't live like that. But the political undertone to that is they want that money to retain themselves in office. Now, think about every one of them that have left office now. What happened to the people they used to give money to now? Are they giving money today? Are they giving money? Look at all the ex-representatives today that are passing around. Are they giving money to the people today? What if after they left, there was no other institution or way for people to get money? the country will be left not only in extreme poverty, but it will be left with many, many uneducated Liberians and many broken institutions in the country. And that is why we cannot invest into individual. We should learn to build institution that is governed by policy, that will guide the institution to grow. Because men will serve that institution, women will serve in that role, but the end of life, the end of their term will be over. But if the institution is left to maintain those programs, those who will be benefiting from that thing, going to school, when they graduate, they will go right back in there and begin to further improve the policy, because they know that they were one time beneficiary of that policy. Now they are in charge. They will want to do more after those who will be coming to also enjoy those things. But the lawmakers, they are not thinking about those things, folks. They are not thinking about those things. So how do we get over these things here, folks? We have to understand our responsibility. There is a responsibility by every Liberian in our country. Yes, every Liberian in our country honor the responsibility principle that I call democracy. You as a Liberian, you are required under the democratic responsibility as an individual. Because you know what? The ultimate controller of our democracy, the ultimate controller of our democracy, it is not the president of the country. It is not the lawmaker, like the senator or the representative. And it is not the government official. The ultimate controller of our democracy is our voters. How? They vote for these people. Why? Because it is the process. So what should we do? Is to begin to educate them, because they control the vote. So our responsibility honor a democracy as citizen of that country or any country. Our responsibility is to be able to what? Provide education for our people. Help them to understand what their rights are and who they should vote for and why. If we don't do those things, we will continue to repeat the circle, because the ultimate decider and controller of our democracy are the voters. Now, when it comes to accountability on our democracy, there is a principle of accountability to our democracy, and that is about exposing the truth. And that is why I am here today to tell you the truth, because you and I have a responsibility to ensure that we help our people vote for the right people. But equally so, there is also an accountability to that part of our responsibility. And that accountability under the principle of democracy is to expose the truth. Because the lack of accountability among all as Liberians will grossly affect us as a country and people. So sometimes when I come here, I don't want you to feel bad about it. Now, with that said, let's try to do a few things here. All right? Here, I got a CD tape. Here, I got a white sheet plus a CD. What the hell am I going to do with this? Well, wait until I show you something here. So I'm going to take this thing here, and I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to put it down here. Sorry, I don't have a camera above. I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to draw a circle here. All right. So there goes the circle right here. All right. And I am going to attempt to take this little tab here, and I'm going to put the tab right in this middle here. So I'm going to attempt to put it in the middle here, and I'm going to draw some little circle around it. All right. And it's going to look like this. Then I am going to take my little slide rule, and I'm going to draw a line in here. So I'm going to draw the lines, one line, 2 line, 3 line, 4 line, and 5 line. So I'm going to draw this here. So we have a circle in here. Now, what we're going to put right in here, the people of Liberia. So we're going to pull the Liberian people, all right? We're going to put the Liberian people in here, the Liberian people. So we got here the Liberian people. Now, what else we need to put in here? Remember the list of issue we have on this thing here, the list of issue? Yes. So let's look at the list of issue now that we have, all right? So one of it is political issue, that will be PI. We have the economic issue, that will be EI. We have the social issue, that will be SI. We have the, let me look at my list here. We have, okay, unemployment issue, that will be unemployment issue, that will be EPI. And then we got trust of leadership, leadership trust issue, all right? So that will be LTI. Now, when you look at all the list, and I say you should grade them for me. What grade will you put in here? Let me give you one that I did sometime back, all right? This is the actual sheet. I want you to take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot of this. I'm going to hold it up for a while. Take a screenshot of this and tell me, who will you put in here that will be able to meet all these needs of our people? And why you think our people will look at all these lists of things and why they should trust people. The hint here is think about the principle of democracy that focus on what? Responsibility and the accountability. Those are the 2 guidelines that you will use to put in the requisite leader in here. Because when we look at George Weah today, this is George Weah here now. When you were to put any percentage expressed over 100 here, and you put George Weah in here, and when I ask you after 5 years, what would be your grade in all this area here for George Weah? I don't need to tell you. He has completely failed. I don't need to tell you. Political trust, economic trust, social trust. Here you got what? What's the next one right here? Security and peace trust. And then the other one here, you got policy and program trust. What would be your grading here for George Weah? So, this is what we are today. George Weah is gone. You out there. Who will you put in here to begin to meet the needs of all these people? God Amara's Corner today coming to Liberia after he had been put in a position of trust as finance minister. And you got our people on the street around the RIA welcoming him. We got a serious problem. So in order for us to find the right leader, that I believe is Mr. Cummings, we got to do more of creating the awareness and education. And there should be no reason why we should have internal division among ourselves within the ANC, because we'll be harming ourselves than doing good to ourselves. That is why I always encourage, whenever we in the ANC camp as broadcasting, we need to come and join. But there is also a tendency of the social engineering culture that is affecting more ANC members. Remember the social engineering I talk about? What is the applied social engineering concept? Party identity, right? Cultural identity, tribal identity. Now, let's add something new there.
the social Facebook identity. Many of you guys are also suffering from the social engineering identity. You would rather go on Spoon to identify yourself with the Spoon people because you want to fit in. But when it comes to the social engineering or supporting Mr. Cummings people, you don't subscribe to that identity. So you guys too, many of you guys, are also part of the problem and not part of the solution. It's a J. Randy here. We don't eat crab with Sheen on this program. We sit down, we think, we put ideas together, and we apply it. So whenever you sit on Spoon and listen to crap, and you know there's somebody talking about Mr. Cummings, you are also committing a political sin of social engineering by identity or association by identity. Because you're watching a show that don't care for your leader 100%. From start to finish, they are not talking about your leader. They are not talking about your choice. But your presence, again, is also motivating everyone to join that particular show. So whatever you do, think about it in two ways. In our democracy, you must follow the principle of responsibility. And your responsibility is to understand that I must honor our democracy as part of my responsibility to participate. Why? Because the ultimate changer of our democracy are the voters. So when you sit on a platform, a general platform that is not targeting your political candidate, your responsibility is being used in the wrong way. And again, your accountability is also part of the second pillar that supports democracy. And your accountability is to expose the truth. Are you very true to Mr. Cummings when you sit on other platform and say, oh, I'm going to share this? I want you guys to think about that. I want you guys to think about that. Those are all who take our time to come and sit down here. We are spending more time to support Cummings than you just sitting down and listen to somebody giving you misinformation. So I want you, if you can take the people around in Liberia today and begin to ask people in Liberia, who do you trust in here? That would be your responsibility. If they start putting different names, rather common names, then you fail to play your role as someone who has been or who is accountable to ensuring that Mr. Cummings' name is truly exposed to the people. So it is not just the people that we're looking at today. We need to also evaluate ourselves as to what we are doing to get things done here. Yes, that's what we need to do. So I will take my man Arthur quickly here, and then we'll call it a day. So let me bring.
When they get into the election, if his candidate in his dream wins, then he can bring the idea. But guess what? If Mr. Borka and Mr. Uri and ANC and Mr. Bronsky want their real vision to come to reality, and Ambassador Weah wins, and they bring those things before him, and Ambassador Weah says, no, trust me, I will be back here supporting all of them. Because you know what? What benefit one Liberian benefit all Liberians? Our people have suffered for a very long time. Can you imagine you see people in the country begging? In your own country, you begging? God have mercy on our Tunis. Sorry for interrupting your question.
What do you think that people are complaining so much about in Liberia right now? Like, for instance, probably it could be rural condition, hunger, or currency devaluating. In the first 100 days of George Weah presidency, what do you think he's going to tackle first?
Well, as a political analyst, as a policy and regulatory analyst, I firstly would like to see Ambassador Weah carrying on a full-blown audit of every ministry to determine the deficit we have. If we identify the deficit, to have the transparent leadership from the executive mansion, I would like to see Ambassador Weah having a weekly press conference to start. And as long as they get into that rhythm, the next thing now is to make sure that they continue to inform the people. Our people need to be very, very abreast to how he's going to run his government. If Eddie Johnson said he is leaving maybe $2.2 billion or millions of dollars in debt, he needs to declare that. The next thing he needs to do is to reconcile the country. I feel so bad when I see some of my brothers and sisters aligning themselves with politicians. I don't like them. I don't appreciate them. Liberia is all we have. Some people live 30 years old. They don't even have what we have, Tunis, in our country. I could have been one of them. I could have been in our country today, hustling, which is why I'm on the side advocating for them. I have seen these politicians have done nothing for our country. So let us get Ambassador Weah the opportunity. If he screw up, we all can come here and put him on the grill and grill him good. Because you know what? Our democracy is making progress.
There is a question from one of the